Good morning, everyone. This is Tony Verhoeven with CSIA. Welcome, everyone, to this edition of the CSIA Partner Technical Webinar Series. My name is Tony Verhoeven, and I am the Membership and Marketing Manager at CSIA. I'm happy to introduce our partners and webinar hosts from OFS. The webinar is titled Optical Fibers for Automation Controls and Industrial Networking. CSIA is pleased to co-sponsor this educational webinar with our CSIA partner members and valued industry proponents. For those of you who are unfamiliar with CSIA, we are the only trade association focused on the advancing of the system integration industry. Our vision is to ensure that manufacturing and process industries everywhere have access to low-risk, safe, and successful application of automation technology. To accomplish this, CSIA supports system integrator companies in becoming better businesses. We offer guidance to improve integrator effectiveness with our best practices and benchmarks manual, an open forum to connect and learn from other companies, and opportunities to market within the industry. As our members continue to improve their management skills, they can begin to work on becoming CSIA certified, an industry standard in business excellence. CSIA membership offers members access to resources needed to attain its business goals. These benefits include networking opportunities at the annual executive conference, marketing toolkits, educational materials, and the Industrial Automation Exchange. These are just a few examples of how CSIA can improve your business, with CSIA certification being the recognized seal of approval. CSIA certification demonstrates commitment to meeting the highest standards for integrator business and management. Successful system integration businesses combine technical proficiency with sound business practices. In fact, clients are now seeking integrators with CSIA certification alongside of an ISO certification. So what does this mean for suppliers and system integrators and to your clients? CSI certification focuses on business practices, whereas other certifications traditionally focus on quality and technical abilities. Clients will recognize certified integrators' commitment to industry standards and business acumen when they see that you are certified. Certification also increases the probability of your technology being well represented and greatly reduces the risk of project failure. The Industrial Automation Exchange is the premier automation supplier guide featuring control system integrators who provide industrial, manufacturing, and process automation solution. This is the first place to search for industrial automation answers and for clients to research technology teams to implement their next automation project. Clients can easily filter to integrators and suppliers based on industry, specialty, products, or locations. For integrators and their partners, it's a place to market their expertise. Clients will find white papers, case studies, capabilities, contact information, and engage in conversation directly with CSIA members. Any company in the automation industry can create a free profile in the exchange. For more information on CSIA certification, membership, or how to participate in the exchange, contact any staff member at 800-661-4914 or visit www.controlsys.org. Thanks so much for attending today. If you have not done so already, I encourage you to save the date for the 2018 CSIA Executive Conference, which is April 24th through the 27th in San Francisco. Pete Sudmeyer of OFS is a sales engineer and the host of our webinar today. He is the sales engineer for OFS Specialty Photonics Division located in Avon, Connecticut. Pete's responsibilities include factory automation along with substation automation in the electric utility market. He has held various roles over the course of his 25-year degree, 20 with OFS, in the fiber optic industry. From manufacturing and process engineering, technical support, and his current position as sales engineer, Pete earned a BS degree from Rutgers College Engineering in Materials, Ceramic Engineering. Pete, thanks so much to you and your team at OFS, and thanks for sponsoring the webinar. Thanks for hosting, and I'll let you take it away.
Okay, thank you, Tony. We appreciate the opportunity to discuss the topic of fiber optics in industrial automation, specifically the choice of the best fiber for your use in industrial Ethernet as businesses transition to the Internet of Things. What I will say is, if you have any questions during the presentation, please feel free to type those in and we'll address those at the end of the presentation. Okay. As Tony said, my name is Pete Setmeyer and I am with the OFS Specialty Photonics Group headquartered in Avon, Connecticut. OFS is in our second year of membership with the CSIA, and our goal is to become a resource to integrators as you implement industrial Ethernet and need to choose a fiber. So those of you reading trade journals, attending conferences, including the recent CSIA conference where I met some of you, the hot topic is the Industrial Internet of Things, which addresses a trend toward automation market that is becoming smarter. We have smart structures, smart bridges, even smartphones, but now we are looking at smart automation, which takes current automation processes to the next level. In doing so, the key to the functionality of a smart automation system, although a small part of the overall system, is the communication links. Today we'll walk through the steps of converting to industrial Ethernet and give an overview of fiber options to consider. Hopefully, with this knowledge, you as an integrator, contractor, or designer become a more valuable resource to your customer. So now we're going to just put up a quick instant poll here to get a feel for the audience. So here's the instant poll, and if you could just take 2 seconds and make a choice from here. Okay, another 5 seconds we'll give you, and then okay, well that's good. So what we see here is that there's a lot of people that really need to learn about the technology and understand it better, and that's and believe me, we're trying to do the same thing, and we would like to work with you and communicate to find solutions. So let me move on from here. Okay, so when it comes to fiber optics, OFS is a worldwide leader. We are owned by a multi-billion-dollar company, Furukawa Electric Company, and as the map here indicates, we have a global presence. This includes a very diverse product portfolio designed for a variety of markets. When it comes to fiber optics, OFS is a leader in these markets, having a significant presence. Today, we'll focus on the industrial networks. OFS is a leading-edge design and manufacturing company that designs products for specific requirements and markets. We don't just take one product offering and try to make it fit all the markets and applications. As a manufacturer of complete fiber optic, cable, and connectivity portfolio, the end solution is engineered to meet customers' needs and expectations. So there there are various terminologies used in the progression of the automation market, including Industry 4.0. This is a term derived by the German government, which reference computerized manufacturing. But from this, what I want to illustrate is how you have cybersecurity, data, manufacturing, system integration, and the Internet of Things. And this all comes together to make what we can reference as a smart factory. So when you're considering Ethernet for industrial automation, the key drivers are the cost of the system. What is the cost, and what is going to be the result of the cost? So you want to keep a low cost, and you're going to increase efficiencies. And how are you going to do that? You're going to be implementing a fiber network that is going to have higher bandwidth than what you might be used to with copper. And with that higher bandwidth, you are going to get real-time data, real-time analytics. So data is going to be flowing back and forth, and the system is going to react to the data with it, which it's generating to itself. For example, on a factory floor, you are not only knowing that there is a problem with a piece of equipment on the factory floor, you will know what that problem is sometimes before that problem actually occurs, based on feedback from your system. So it's fixing itself. So it's an intelligent system that we're talking about. Okay, so next we're going to look at this is the OSI model of network architecture. And I'm sure some of you are familiar with this, and hopefully most of you are. Where does fiber fit in here? So in the physical layer, you're going to have your fiber coming from your PLCs to your drives. And so you're going to have data flowing back and forth there. There's going to be feedback, which is going to get sent to the data link layer, which is where your industrial Ethernet is. So that's where a lot of your processing and your intelligence is going to be implemented in the fiber system. And you know, the tendency for the physical layer, you're talking about a factory floor, and the environment on the factory floor can vary from, you know, clean and ambient versus a humid, hot, and dirty. So let's take a look at the considerations that need to be in place for fiber on the factory floor. So of the OSI model, most of your cost for this system is going to be at the upper 5 or 6 layers of the system, and 20% of the total cost will be in the physical layer. So really, you need to take a look at it and say, okay, what do I need to do to protect that 80% of the upper levels from any kind of bad data or malfunction. And so really, it's the choice of your fiber type that you're going to be looking at, and the choice of the cable which that fiber is going to go into, and to gather your data. Okay, so the adaptation process going from legacy manufacturing now to the OSI industrial networks. When you're talking to your customers, there's an introduction process, and people probably are already hearing about it, but you're going to tell them a little bit more. Then you're going to start selling the benefits. you know, the efficiencies, the cost savings that you're going to have from less downtime, and you know, so the benefits are going to make sense to the end user. And you know, they're going to say, well, okay, what can we do here? So you work with them on the design of the facility and come up with a design that you agree on, and then you'll present them with a pricing package. And you know, then you have the approval process. Okay, is there money in the budget this year? Do we have to put it in for next year? And you know, once that's in place, then you know you get your project management plan in place to switch from the legacy to industrial Ethernet, and then you implement that plan. And you know what I think the reality is this is a 3, 4, 5 year process to get this done. So this is all happening now, and you know, I'm sure people are at different phases, and but that's a snapshot of what has to get done. And you know, you're going to make your business case. You're going to have a resilient physical layer. Your communication path is going to be ready for gigabit Ethernet and beyond, and you're going to have a more cost-effective solution. So the trends in the industrial Ethernet is for smaller form pluggable transceivers. So these transceivers are typically equipped with LC connector ports. So why are people going smaller? So they want a smaller footprint, higher port density, a lot more fibers coming in, more data to process, lower costs, and these transceivers are readily available, and you know the pricing is right. So you know, where OFS fits in here is, you know, we as a fiber and connectivity manufacturer, you know, we have the fiber that can provide the bandwidth that you need, and also I'll present to you a little bit about the LC solution that we have that that will make your job easier. So along with the fiber, you have to be considering the cable that the fiber goes into, and you know the environments, as I discussed earlier. And why is fiber used? Well, because on a factory floor, that type of environment, there's electromagnetic interferences that you have to be concerned with, and fiber is immune to that. And also, fiber has the ability to process higher data rates. So just talking a little bit about fiber itself now. And I don't know how much you guys know about fiber, but just to take a step at a time, on the factory floor, typically a multi-mode step index fiber can be used for the PLC to the drives for control systems. And this diagram actually kind of gives you displays the type of signal that is going to be going down the fiber. So for step index fiber, you know, it's a little bit just bouncing off the walls and you're going to be at a lower bandwidth level. When you're going to transform to industrial Ethernet, you need to be thinking about, well, you need to go to a graded index multi-mode fiber. So there's various grades. There's 50 micron, 62.5. But in order to support higher device speeds and more data, you need to go to a higher bandwidth fiber, which would be the multi-mode graded index. There is some play with single mode, but typically single mode fiber is used for long haul communications. So I'm going to talk a little bit about step index and graded index fibers here. So the step index fiber listed here is an HCS fiber, and this is a OFS trademark fiber. In the generic sense, you might see the terminology PCS. So this fiber is actually an interesting story on how it started. It was designed for the detonation of explosives by a company, Ensign Bickford, in Simsbury, Connecticut. And so that was the original use, and that hard polymer there was used to guide the light through a step index fiber. Well, it turns out that this fiber also had another unforeseen application of use in datacom. So this has had a life in datacom for 25 plus years. And what this fiber will do is it's legacy PLC systems, as we talked about. And it comes into play where previously plastic optical fiber could send a signal a certain distance, and this step index fiber can send it a longer distance and more data. And because of the construction of the cladding that goes on it, you see the temperature range there. So this temperature range exceeds your standard product temperature range. So if if you're in a harsh environment, this is a good product to use. Now, temperature range is also dictated by the cable construction that it goes into, and I'll talk about that a little bit more. But this step index product has been, very reliable for many years, and it came to a point where people said, well, can we do this with graded index? And so we said, sure, and we designed this fiber option with 50 and 62.5 rated index, maintaining the 200 micron glass OD and the robust HCS coating that goes on the outside of it. So the HCS coating is very important with this fiber, because this is what, to get this fiber into the system, you need to put a connector on it, and that connector bonds to the HCS coating. So to get to industrial Ethernet, you need to go to the graded index. So this is a solution that will give you a higher bandwidth. So I can't emphasize enough the strength differences that this fiber has over traditional fibers. Now, traditional fibers have a place in the network, but the closer you get to the factory floor, the more inclined you should be to use this type of a fiber, which has this HCS coating, which always stays on the fiber. So one of the things that people don't necessarily understand is when you're stripping a traditional fiber down to the bare glass, you're exposing it to the environment. So the environment could be humidity, or it could be dirt and dust. And those things, when they get on glass, they weaken the glass, so they will weaken the connection. With this fiber, that HCS coating is bonded onto the glass. It actually enhances the strength of the fiber, and it stays on there all the time, so the glass is never exposed to the environment. And additionally, on top of that, there's this ETFE buffer, which resists abrasion and common industrial chemicals. So it makes sense to think about using this type of fiber when you're going to a factory floor or any type of harsh environment. And it will make even more sense when you understand the advantages of using this with our crimp and cleave connectorization system. So this diagram, this little chart, just shows you the different the strengths of the 200 micron fiber versus traditional, and a couple of copper wire sizes are there too. So it certainly is a big difference. And when it's utilized with the crimp and cleave connector system, it's a no-brainer. So I talked a lot about the fiber and the strengths of the fiber, but the fiber needs to be protected by the proper cable. And we make the fiber, the cable, and assemblies under the same roof in Avon, Connecticut, and which is great. It's a great quality control means, and it allows our engineering teams to work closely together to put together a good solution. So when you're talking about cable, there's a lot of environmental considerations to keep in mind. Oils and fluids, temperature, humidity. Installing a cable in Florida or Texas is, could be a little bit different than Minnesota and Alaska. Does the cable need to have crush resistant capability? Is it going to be in a flexing situation, or is it going to be static? Will it be exposed to vibration, impact, or is there going to be some stringent bend requirements for the cable? Or perhaps from a corrosion standpoint, there's going to be salt spray. And so these are all tests that we perform on our cables. Some cables will do them all, some of them will do some of them. So this is what the cables this is what needs to be considered when you're choosing the proper cable. So as we move down to from the fiber to the cable, now we're going to go to the connector system. Now, from an industrial standpoint, the ST connector has been the connector of choice for many years, and it's a strong connector. It's a accurate connector, and it's got it locks in, so it's immune to vibration. So that connector has been around for a long time, and we still move a lot of it. But for the industrial Ethernet, people are moving to the LC connector. So what you see there is the crimp and cleave LC connector, and that simplex connector on top, you can install that in a minute. So, and I'll go through the process in a little bit, just to show you exactly what it is. And we also have a video that I can share with you separately if you're interested in seeing that. But so the LC connector is really going to be the prominent choice when you're doing your designs, and you're going to find your device ports are going to be most likely adaptable for the LC connector. So the other connectors on there, the SC is also prominent in the Ethernet world, and so that doesn't see as much playing time though. The V-pin connector is a long-standing connector that we've had for our 200 micron fiber, and that will not be used in industrial Ethernet. It's not as good a choice as the LC connector. So just walking through some of the benefits of the fiber, cable, and connectorization system. It's a very robust solution. It can be tailored to whatever environment you're working with. You don't have to buy, you don't have to buy the wrong type of cable. We can work with you. We have an excellent technical support group that will help you get the right cable, the right connectors, and the right fiber for your system. The connectorization in the field, we sell a termination kit that goes with it. These termination kits that do the crimp and cleave are very easy to handle and very very reliable and repeatable. So just to walk you through the crimp and cleave process for an LC, this is showing the LC. You're stripping the cable jacket back, you're stripping the fiber buffer in the second one from the left, you're crimping the LC connector on, and then on the far right you're doing a cleave. And what that cleave does, and as I said, it's a repeatable cleave, and it leaves a pristine surface that once you cleave it, you're going to either put a dust cap on there or plug it into the system, because the worst thing for fiber is getting dirt on the ends, and so you want to avoid that at all costs. So this is an overview of fiber and choosing the right fiber for your installation. And as I said, we have a great technical support group. I'd be happy to we have a great technical support group. I'd be happy to talk to you as well. And if we need to set up a meeting, I'd be happy to do that as well. But when it comes to the industrial Internet of Things, we're all learning still, and we all have different angles that we're looking at it from, and OFS is very proficient at looking at it from the fiber optic angle and providing a solution. So I want to thank you all for listening, and I guess at this point we're going to open it up for questions.
Thank you, everyone, for attending our webinar. And if you have any questions for Pete, please type it in the box below you where it says type message here. And Pete will be gladly to answer your questions. So we'll give you a couple of minutes to type your questions. Thank you. Pete, while our attendees are gathering their thoughts and maybe have some questions, let me ask you, you have mentioned the termination kit, which is a very interesting concept, so that technicians do not use any specific to fiber optics tools, other than everything is going to be in one termination kit. How many terminations can you perform with that kit?
Well, that's a great question, Natasha. And we certainly have reports of varying results, and anywhere from 1,000 to 10,000 cleaves out of one cleaver. So really, when you start using this kit, it's important that you follow the instructions, and certainly our technical staff can walk you through a little bit of the care of the tools. And but with the proper use and proper care, you should get thousands of cleaves out of a single kit. And really, if anything of the kit is going to fail, it would be the cleave tool. So that it does have a life, but in that regard, if there is a problem with it, we'll take it back and fix it and recalibrate it and send it back to you.
Questions: how do we work with our customers? Are we through the distribution chain, or are we working directly with them? Could you talk about that a little bit?
Okay. Typically in the Yeah, typically in the automation market, we are working directly with our customers, whether it be EPCs, OEMs. We work directly with them. Some of our customers end up going through distributors, and that's fine too. And but we will work directly with you. And you know, we like to help provide a solution, and by working directly with you, we are able to best understand your needs and and supply the proper products for you.
And the best way to reach you at this email address that it's on the screen right now.
Yes.
And we will send the presentation slides along with the recording to everyone who attended our webinar. And yeah, we have a question from Charles that if we can have a part number for the kit. So Charles, if you want to email Pete Setmeyer at that email address, he would definitely provide you with a part number for the kit. That's the easy one. Also keep in mind that we have several kits termination with the LC, with SC, and with ST SMA. So if you have as much information as possible, that would be great. So what kind of applications you have, what kind of fiber are you dealing with, and what kind of connector kit that you're looking for. And we definitely get back to you. Thank you so much for that question.
Yeah, and Charles, the part number is D as in dog, T as in Thomas, 03732-LC1. So I do know that one.
All right. So Karen's asking if the client is installing a fiber optic system for the first time, what guidelines would you use to make a recommendation? So what, if it's a first time installation, what would you recommend, Pete?
Okay, well, I think the first thing you want to do is talk to us, and so we understand your installation. And what we will do is guide you through choosing the right cable for your application, and as well as the right connectors and the toolkit. So OFS does offer to do assemblies, but one of the benefits of our system is the fact that these assemblies are easy to install in the field, and by you installing them, you're going to allow for a cleaner finish. You're not going to have loop cable around. So I think the best thing to do is contact me, and I can talk through the installation with you, and we can specify the right cable and the connectors for your needs. If there's a need for training on the crimp and cleave kit, we can provide that as well.
Does OFS make an armored cable? Do we make those kind of cables?
Oh, that's a good question. From an armoring standpoint, we don't use a metallic armor on our cables. What we do have is a dielectric armor, and we have a heavy-duty cable. It's very robust, and certainly I can go over some of the cable offerings that we have separately. But no, we don't have a metal armor, but we have a dielectric armor. And one of the neat things about our cables is we actually have a rodent, not resistant, but a rodent deterrent armoring that goes in it. So it's a glass fiber that if the rodents chew through the outer jacket, they're going to hit this fiber, and it's going to be shards of glass in their mouth. So we do have that type of protection. but the crush resistance of these fibers and cables is a lot higher than you would expect out of a typical fiber from a traditional fiber standpoint.
Excellent. So it looks like Karen is looking for something durable, so I'm sure we can find something for their application once we know what the application is. There are definitely a lot of varieties of cabling that we can offer. Is there any other questions that we can answer now? Give him a couple of minutes. Give it a couple of minutes, and you will get the slides of this presentation and also along with the recording. And thank you for your participation. And Karen, thank you very much for your questions. We're looking forward to talking to you and to everyone else who is interested. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Pete. Thank you, Tony.
Okay.
Thank you, everyone.